The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, squeezably soft host. As always, we like to come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
And what do we have going on today? Well, a little bit of a pullback. I'm not going to say it's anything earth-shattering so far. Down 2 points on the S&P cash. We got up to 2,301. Let me re-update this and sneeze. There, I'm back. People ask me why I sneeze a lot, because I get the chills from the AC on down here in Florida. I know everybody up north is not going to like that. But yes, the AC is running. And no, I don't have to go outside and catch it. Anyway, 2296, we're off 2 points in the S&P cash volume, 2.26 billion shares. Volume was good yesterday, but not enough. There's... You kind of have to reach escape velocity if you're launching a satellite or somebody to the moon. And the problem is that we really just 3.8 billion shares by the end of the day yesterday just wasn't enough. Now, do we get that and more volume tonight with a what I'm going to call it a murderer's row tonight of earnings at 4 o'clock? And, of course, Tom O'Brien will be calling all the action then. But kind of a murderer's row of earnings, and at least a few of those we'll talk about them. One may be set up for a little bit of a disappointment, not a huge one. But very interesting, not only chart patterns, but more than anything else, what we've talked about in previous earnings cycles. Is there anybody left to go bullish? And somebody asked that question today, and I think it's a very good question about this company. We'll get into that. But, volume's good. Would have liked to seen 5, maybe 5.5 billion shares yesterday as we blew through some big highs, or even the day before. The volume's good. It's not enough to pull the trigger short, but not enough to say that we are all clear and only waiting for a retest. In fact, the dollar is probably the thing, and maybe bonds that have me a little bit nervous today. So we'll talk about this and a few things more as we get the show started. To start, of course, we always like a little history, because why history does not exactly repeat itself. It does rhyme a bunch.
That it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
It is history repeating. On this day in 1788, Captain Arthur Phillips, not the same guy from Captain Phillips, although I guess both of them were captains, weren't they? One was in a movie, though. Guides a fleet of 11 British ships carrying convicts to the colony of New South Wales, effectively founding Australia. After overcoming a period of hardship, the fledgling colony began to celebrate the anniversary of this date with great fanfare. Australia, once known as the New South Wales, was originally planned as a penal colony. I've been there many, 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 many times. I've raced on many of the racetracks around there, and had just a ton of fun. They kind of gotten a little bit on the PC side, but normally you could count on them for some great fighting, lots of drinking, basically all the things you're not allowed to get away with anymore. Kind of enjoyed at least being down there in the 90s, and went down a few times in just after 2000. I haven't been over there lately. Like a lot of their movies, Road Warrior, pretty cool flick. Another one that scared the living daylights out of me was a movie from down there was Dead Calm. Oh, I like that movie. Same guy's in another movie that's got almost like 98 on Rotten Tomatoes. It's called the Wander People. I think it's the Wander People. I saw it. I thought it was really a cute movie. Not a lot of movies getting to me this. The Wilder People. Excuse me, I said it wrong. But pretty good. Great folks. Great country. You can't hardly find a better country than that. But, of course, it's kind of like this country. Everybody wants to live on the coast. It's a country of a big, beefy middle that is the worst land in the world. Oh, boy, it's just you go across country and you just talk about desolation, almost as bad as the moon in some places. And they've got semis that go on for a mile. They call them trains? Semi-trains? I met a guy right out of Crocodile 1D one time. The guy that was I forget what the guy's name was. But, I mean, no teeth, absolutely beaten up, half burnt. Mostly that's kind of like folks you find out there in the middle of the outback. But a great time. Love the racetracks. Not a lot of rules. That's a good part. I'm kind of that libertarian kind of guy. But great racetracks, great folks. And, of course, guys don't really treat the women that well. So if you're an American down there, you got at least, if you're a 6, you're an 8 down there, which is always a great thing. So we will continue on. But I had a lot of good times, met a lot of people from Australia over the years. Always seemed to be a good lot. Now, on things going on in the snooze, in an effort to slow down the country's banking market, the People's Bank of China, just sounds like you'd go down to the corner. There would be the People's Bank of China. You'd walk right in and hit the ATM, don't you? Has ordered banks to keep the issuance of new mortgages at no greater than their rate in the fourth quarter. People familiar with the matter say central bank plans were told to Bloomberg. A lot of what's happened in China last year has been the letting loose of the reins of incredibly loose currency once again. People bidding up houses, so they're throwing the kibosh one more time on this. It's the thing we always have to worry about, and that is, and it's probably, I don't know if it's 20, 50 years from now or 2 months from now, but the thing is, when does China lose control of its banking system? Everybody always thinks they're bigger than the market, even a communist country's market, but eventually they all catch up. But don't look for a lot of growth out of China. They are putting the brakes on in new loans, which means that we might see a little strengthening of the dollar, I think. Sony of my own. Sony has not confirmed a new phone, but they are saying they're going to this new big show. The big deal, a 4K resolution smartphone. No one's really got that yet. Haven't heard from Apple about that. Don't know if you could really care about a 4K smartphone, but it looks like Sony's going to have the first one. They were supposed to have it about 3 months ago. Doesn't look like they had it. Going to be out now, I guess. Real soon now.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And of course, you can always call me at 877-927-6648 on the show. Again, pretty much stuck right where we were, off 2 points. Volume 2.33 billion shares. Question, what was my favorite part of Australia? Well, I went down there with my English boss, who was actually Canadian, who became an American, became a U.S. citizen anyway. But the best part was going down there probably around 1995. And we got in the car to take us, we had to go about an hour and a half wherever we were going. And it was nonstop from the second we got in the car. The Australian was after he heard my boss speak, knew he was English, and it was nonstop jokes about English until we got there. Best hour and a half probably of my life. Not, man, in the top 10, we'll say it there. The best one I always loved was he said, how do you know a plane load of Brits have shown up at the Sydney airport? He says, half hour after the engines have been turned off, you can still hear the whining. Because apparently they're big complainers down there. That's what the Australian people think anyway. I always like that joke. That's probably because it got to him the most. Anyway, we've got a lot of stuff moving out here today. We will look at it. And, of course, a lot of earnings. Why I'm thinking about it, there's, 45 analysts on Google, and there's one who is negative on it. And I have to say that one of the best arguments I've ever heard for being very cautious on stocks is that literally everybody's bullish on one. You've got to have some people that are bearish, and that's probably what disappoints me most about this breakout. I like to see a lot of people that are very much going, we're going down 200 points. Can't find a soul doing it. Anyway, this guy was out speaking. I'm the 1 out of 45 analysts covering Google who say maybe it can go down. And there's a lot to that. You got to have at least somebody that turns from a bear to a bull to buy it off of you if it's going higher. And that it was kind of interesting. Most of the other ones weren't out there. I looked at the movement in this. Do not like at all the energy off this low from December 30th. This one, energy much lower than the move that we saw from December 1st up to December 13th as far as the energy. And again, you've got a high volume move to the low at 743.59. And that's kind of it. I mean, we've got some of the other ones out here. Kind of tough to say. I kind of think that maybe Microsoft, again, may be in that same thing. And I'm just saying, are the wheels going to fall off Microsoft? No. Are they going to fall off Google? No. But if I was a betting man, I would think that this probably is much more likely to print 820 tonight than 900, and just go back to support. Just a lot of people pushing this. And again, most of the growth is kind of out of Google. They've been making some good money in the trying to think of what the cloud services business, but no one's done it as well as Microsoft and Amazon. And I haven't heard a lot about Google pushing this. Now, they've got their machine learning thing out called TensorFlow. I've played with it a bit. It's pretty good. But again, a lot of these guys are probably 1 or 2 generations from the software being fairly easy to use. It's still fairly tough, although people are using it. And there's some other machine learning stuff coming out. It really hadn't added to the value. But I would say net, my guess is that Amazon has been incredibly active in cutting prices, and Microsoft probably not as much. Microsoft actually been doing much better in some of the other business things that they're going after. In fact, I was talking to somebody about designing software and what business wants compared to a big website like Facebook or something, right? Those guys want very low costs for the hardware, for the software that they run on it, and they can hire 1,000 people because there's so many users and it takes so many machines. They don't want to be paying licensing fees to Microsoft. They need a lot of that, and they've got a lot of people on the back end of it. If you've got 1 billion subscribers, everything is literally cheap to do yourself. Now, in Microsoft, you're talking about maybe big companies, maybe even Fortune 500 companies, but they are not amortizing their development over that many people. You know, maybe 50,000, maybe 20,000 if it's what it's called a line of business application inside. So Microsoft has been going after the businesses that are not San Francisco's Silicon Valley-based stuff. Amazon kind of gets a little bit more of that. Google kind of has been a little out on that. And, of course, as more and more people use cell phones to do search, there's less people that you can charge for showing on a search on a phone than you can on a desktop. And that continues to kind of put a lid on Google. Do I think the wheels fall off? No. Do I think it could come back down to 820? Yeah, I think it could. I wouldn't be a big fan of the one I looked at. A lot of them didn't look like they were going to move very much. This one looked like it probably had the most ability to move. Yesterday we were talking about Las Vegas Sands. I thought this thing could probably hold 50, this 52 low from January 3rd. And you had 6.5 million shares. You had far too much volume on Las Vegas Sands. And again, it may be the stuff from China coming out and leaking out. But again, it is tough to be a company that's really needed to be supported by China. And this never seems to really come to fruition that you are a leprechaun and you run away with a big pot full of gold in China that everybody tells us is there. I know the money's there. The idea that they're going to let you get any cash out of that country, I think it's just not in the culture of China to let any cash out. And if you were to get any cash, they'd find some way to extract it from you. Kind of like the mob, right? They'll tell you everything's good and work out, and you end up in jail. One of those things. Anyway, I just don't want to be in a lot of companies that are involved in there when the music stops. Let me put it that way. Trying to find a few other things out here. That one was one we were looking at. eBay. Someone told me yesterday they hadn't bought anything on eBay in a year. And it's probably true. eBay seems to be doing a lot more outside the country, continues to have a very tough time doing anything inside the United States. Apparently, if you actually need to have it tomorrow, eBay has been doing a little bit better on higher priced items than you would find on Craigslist, other sales outfits. But the resale market, i.e. selling things that aren't new, but you still need, seems to be doing okay, at least from what they're saying. We'll be back in a minute.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And had a question here, what I think about all the Mexico business. I will tell you this. I was I was trying to buy, I forget what it was, a car or something like that. And I offered $2,000. The guy wanted $3,000. He said that he'd split the deal. He'd split it. He'd sell it to me for $2,700. I said, well, that's not a split. He goes, log doesn't always split even. Well, then the argument turned to not whether I was going to pay $2,000, but whether or not I was going to pay $2,500 or $2,700. So the argument suddenly changed. It wasn't whether I was going to buy the car. It wasn't whether I was going to pay $3,000. It was suddenly, was I going to pay $2,500 or was I going to pay $2,700 over it? And guess what? I bought the car. There is a certain art to listening to our current president, and one of the best sales jobs ever is to change the terms of the argument. And guess what just happened today? There wasn't an argument on whether or not the wall was going to get built. The argument is about who's going to pay for it. They've just changed the terms of the argument. And in any kind of negotiation, when that happens, you've probably already won. So just think about it that way for a little while. I'm sure a lot of people will jump up and down and scream and yell that maybe the Americans ended up paying for the wall. And I think there will be a president that quietly laughs under his breath at many people that don't see one of the most obvious negotiating ploys of all time. Well, yes, you could say Mexico's actually paying for it now in the devalued peso. You could actually say they've already paid for it many times over. Just a thought. We got an email out here, CXO. And what do we have out here? Well, you wanted 2.58 million shares, so you're still in the trading range. You're back into this December 12th high that had 2.5 million shares, 2.6, into it today with 800,000 shares. I'm not real bullish right now. And I sold my longs in the concrete and the railroad business, waiting for a retrace, hopefully going to get a retrace. But to me, just everybody's on one side of the boat in those trades right now, which means that I've got to hope for a retrace back in those. I don't feel that confident. And my guess is that as the railroads and the concrete and the resource companies pull back, that we will probably see an opportunity yet again to buy these at another time. But it doesn't look all that great to me. Energy is not that bad on the way up. It's just... you should have seen a lot more volume the last 2 days. 1.7 million shares today and 800,000 today kind of tells you a whole lot. Would I be shorting these? The answer is no. We got several days of fun buying coming up. It's just not that exciting. So we will persevere, move on, and not get distracted. Okay, we looked at eBay. Mattel is one that's taking it on the chin today. Apparently, nobody's buying a Barbie, and this thing is blown through all the trading going back through to February of last year. It's done it so with the most volume in a year. It's going to be much more by the end of the day out here. Let's go to just a little longer time frame. But, man, you kind of just blew away all the trading going back all the way to the 2nd of February last year where this thing gapped up with a sign of strength. It's just you're getting a bigger sign of weakness today, and that pretty much completes it. Maybe they'll come up with some new games for Christmas, but no touchy until probably fall, I guess, as this thing is cooked for a while. I didn't find out why, but I have a feeling it's some of those movie-related products that didn't sell as well. McKesson came out last night. It dropped after hours. Volume is picked up, but not that exciting. You still have a high volume low that has not been tested, which is the October 28th low. You got to think that before I could trade this stock to the long side, that I'd want to see the October 28th low tested at 114.31. So not a lot going on that. In the armaments Defense sector, Northrop Grumman, makers of the lunar lander. I always wonder why they don't say something like that. We made the lunar lander, but they don't. Down, this thing may find a bottom here at 220.72, which is the December 12th low, just under 3 million shares, 1.6 million shares here today. I think I would want this thing, though, to pierce it on lighter volume and pop back into the trading range to make it a possible. On the upside now, I think this thing hit 96 after the bell last night. This thing ran right up to previous highs of December 4th, 2015, went through all the ones, including the October 27th high, has done so with some decent volume. Does not look like it's going to be able to hold that December 4th high of 2015. So it may take another range. Now, what you kind of hate about one of these stocks is this gap up. But if it doesn't continue, the first leg from February 8th, 2016 up to June 8th had 4.7 on my power law vector indicator. The next leg, June 27th to October 27th, had 2.7. Now you've got 2.3 if this ends up being a high. So does that mean this thing instantly rolls over? It doesn't. But, man, if I was in this thing, I think I would be ringing the bell, jumping up and down. I would be a big seller from $46, which was the February 8th, 2016 low. You've had quite a run in this thing, and I don't see what would change anything in it. Pulte Homes came out not so bad, up a little bit, but the new sales numbers came out at 10 o'clock and put a hitch in its get-along. That's a Midwest term for you folks on the farm. Pulte, PHM is the symbol on this thing, went right up to the previous high, 18, 19, 20 cents shy of the June 27th high that had 9.5 million shares. You had the volume today. Just could not hold that high. And I don't know what else you want to say about it other than that. But the numbers were weak in new home sales in December. You probably need a couple more months of new home sales numbers to create a trend. United Rentals had a nice after-hours party last night on earnings. Now, this one came up, did so with some decent volume. In fact, what are we back, 2 years? Let's go back 3. This thing is now gapped through the September 3rd, 2014 high, the November 26th, 2014 high. You have a breakout, and you have it on volume. Houston, we do not have a problem. Be back.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Charter Communications, another deal dreamed up in the minds of traders. Don't think it has a great deal of opportunity to actually get out, but it doesn't really matter. Had a lot of people short, and this is when you get these stories where it really moves a company up and runs all the shorts out, and why you have to be very careful about waiting for confirmation at highs. But Charter higher with a sign of strength. Do I think this deal ever gets done? No. Does it matter? Probably not. We're all on that side now. CRR, which is Carbo Ceramics, nice little pop. A lot of discussion about them finally coming back. Maybe the price of crude being nice or big enough where at least some of the places could use their very expensive solution for fracking. But, you know, when you get a lot of sideways action over time like this, you don't want to be going sideways out here and not expecting a big move either up or down in this. Got to 1437. Is it ever going to get its luster back? I think this is one of those companies that's just going to hang on for, you know, as long as crude's around $50, can it be okay? I think the answer is yes. If it goes down into the 45s or 40, this company is bankrupt. We talked about eBay coming back up to its previous highs, lots of volume. What else do we have? Some of the other stocks that have been on the 52-week low finally bouncing a little, but not all that exciting. Love, another one bouncing through all-time highs and with volume. So you have a valid breakout here on volume with Southwest Airlines, LUV. Beautiful sign of strength, lots of volume out here. And even if we go back to 3 years, you're at all-time highs with a sign of strength from Southwest. Meow, MEOH, nice gap up. Methanex Corporation, or Meow, MEOH. Another good sign of strength out here. Good candle, decent volume. I would like to see the entire market kind of acting a little bit better, but there's some stocks out here that are making signs of strength. Just far too many stocks not getting the kind of volume, not getting the love, not passing it around like we have, but fairly interesting. Royal Caribbean CEO was out today. I thought maybe this thing would roll, but because it kind of come up on light volume. Last couple of days started to really get some juice. Nice sign of strength today. Probably going to go up to the 101.69, which is December 30th. And once you're in 90, you probably got a 90% chance of hitting 99.99. So it wouldn't be one of these that I would probably think about shorting at all until at least hit 100. But even now, good sign of strength. Nothing to see here. Move along, folks, unless you want to buy this when it pulls back. Another one of the big movers out here today is Spectrum Brands Holdings, SPB. Good sign of strength. Should have had more volume, though, on this one. Nice move up to 133.44 with 1 million shares. You've got some days out here that are 1 million to the downside down at the lows. So probably a bigger trading range on this one. 138.52 is the September 30th high that this thing's probably going to hit. At that point, it's probably going to be in a range bound for a while from about 120. Well, let's call it 123, where this thing took off and came back down to STM, which is STM Microelectronics. I'm going to say this is probably close to a blow-off top in the short term. Do not be surprised if this thing comes back to about 1150. All the energy at one time, most likely going to fill this gap, and maybe even a couple of these smaller ones underneath it. This looks like a couple of these semi stocks having a great day today, but I would be very worried about the days following. Texas Capital Bank shares, a nice little pop up here to the highs. As we look at this one over the last 3 years, 52-week high, but not getting the juice out there, not getting the love. And I guess it's time. What's the name of that song? Where is the love you said you'd give to me? Anyway, enough singing. That was the 52. Those are the percent advancers. We'll look at the percent decliners here today. Nice gap down for Alamos Gold. Volume picking up a little bit before the previous few days. Is it enough going against some of these big up days? You're basically into the candle of the 29th of December. That had 5 million shares. You got 2.44. So you should start finding some support right around that $7 mark on Alamos Gold, maybe a little underneath that. Citrix System. This is one that's kind of a warning signs to some of the tech stocks. That is, this thing had been continually going through the previous high of April 21st. Never, ever really got the volume. Had a little yesterday on the squeeze and then rolled back under today. One of the bigger losers out here today. FFIV, another one on the hard downside. F5 Networks volume picking up a little today. Again, you've got some gaps, and those gaps probably going to get filled. I look for 122 on this one, as hard as it's coming back down today. You might be able to get 123 or 124 out of it as a bottom. But looks to me like a lot of that is going to get filled and filled fairly quickly. FFIV, the symbol on it. Hasbro getting a little pin action from its brother over there, Mattel. No one likes that. This thing kind of came up. Actually had some decent volume yesterday, but no mas. The energy off this December 29th low up to yesterday's high would have kept me out of it. It never really got better than the energy on the way down. HP, this is Helmerich and Payne, not the HP. They ought to change that because no one thinks Helmerich and Payne when they think HP. They think about Hewlett-Packard. Give them their symbol back, folks. They're not going to divide us. Nice little pop up and sign of strength on this one, going back to the 30th of November with 5.4 million shares. Coming back into it so much with 4 million shares so far. You would have liked to seen this thing come back into the about 72.50 level on a light volume. You may still get that opportunity, but I don't like the way that the volume is increasing on it today. Pacific Ethanol, not looking good at all. This is one of these stocks that perennially is getting resplit as it continues to go down. We talked about this maybe a year ago, maybe 9 months ago, and especially with the results of the election, the mandate for putting ethanol in gasoline is slowly going away. This year, it's going to take a notch down. Each year, it's going to take a notch down into 2019 or 2020. I'll have to go look back up on it. But there's absolutely nothing that tells me that we're going to have that bill re-up for ethanol out here. This looks to me like this thing is continually going to auger down until the end of methanol and ethanol mandates for fuel, and eventually will be 100% real gasoline. Boy, can't you smell it from here? We'll be back after a minute.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
Yes, we got Tom O'Brien for the next 2 hours, and then Andy Heck in the 5 o'clock hour. And I don't know, ton of earnings at 4 o'clock. Going to be like the Super Bowl all over again. A murderer's row of earnings. We've got Zach from Lutz, Florida, who wants to know about what I think Wynn is going to do after the bell. And this is a great definition right here of a asymmetrical triangle. And this thing's setting up. What I can tell you is most likely it will have a big range after hours, but also after a couple of days, that range probably is the one you want to fade. So to me, I would probably look at this and say, after the move, If it kind of like moves a lot down and then gives up the ghost, then maybe it's a good long candidate. If this thing pops up to highs and then has no volume, then it's a great short candidate. Normally, the first move, if you get this far into an asymmetrical triangle, the first move is a head fake about 80% of the time. So just, I think the better trade here is not to be in it right now, but to fade whatever it does first, and just make sure that the volume is congruent with what you're thinking, i.e., they just moved the stock the wrong way, ran all the shorts, or made all the people give up the stock before it's ready to go higher. But I would be very wary of it. If you're in it and you decide to stay in it, if this thing pops higher, I'd be a seller very quickly. Entry on REGN. I got it right here. Regeneron. It's James from Houston wants to look at Regeneron. If I've got it, REGN, right? Come on, time to get it. We only have a couple minutes left in the show. There we go. Okay, Regeneron entry. I like what you're seeing in this. You need 325 on a lighter volume than 1.88 million shares. You've got in here a little gap, but that gap's not big enough, nor does it have enough volume out here for me to get too excited. But, if you wanted to get in this one, it's going to be Friday tomorrow. This thing's been in a downtrend. You probably have 2, 3, 4 days until this thing. I certainly, in this sector, wouldn't be going long until it tested the previous low, which is that 325 November 4th low. But it's come back on very light energy. So this is not a bad looking chart out here as far as I'm concerned. You just need a good signal, which is a test of the November 4th low. And I don't know what else you can say about that. Thanks, James from Houston. We've got time for one more stock out here. I wanted to see what Qualcomm was doing after getting hammered. Down a little bit more out here. And again, the proverbial falling knife. Where's this thing headed? It looks to me like $50. There's a couple of lows back out here. June 27th, July 27th. About 11.7 million shares on one, about 7.7 million shares on the other. I'm going to say $50 on this one is where you're probably going to find support. I don't see any real reason to get ahead of this one. And the news cycle is going to be bad on it for a while. And everybody and their dog is, including the Chinese, are on these folks for money, including Apple. I don't think that $1 billion lawsuit is going far, but it's enough to distract people. And right now, you don't need to be distracted if you're running one of these big companies, especially if you're under fire from all directions. Qualcomm. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. Remember to sell when you can, not when you have to. Oh, Tom's webinar tonight.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.